3, 2, 1. Check out blabcoats.com.
You left me hanging, man. You left me hanging.
My earliest memory comes from, I think, Year 7 when I first did my first science chemistry class. I remember going home and dreaming about being in that lab with a lab coat and mixing chemicals.
I used to like finding out how things work, so I used to pull apart electronics and things like that.
Scientists don't get a good rap in the media, and what we wanted to do is to show them as human beings, to show the cutting-edge research, but to show the people behind that cutting-edge research. Because I think there's a skepticism that's been built towards science and the scientific establishment. There isn't a great connection between the scientific community and the general public, and this is our attempt to build that bridge between those two different communities, for people to see how science is done, so it's not this esoteric thing that, that they have no
People
connection
put
with.
scientists on a pedestal, and it's good to, I think, break that down a little bit and show them as real people. BLab Coats is a conversational podcast. We like to talk to scientists and researchers, and we want to talk to them and find out their stories because they have really interesting stories.
We wanted to design a resource for university students and high school students. Our thought was, okay, in our undergrad and in our experience in high school, we felt very lost. I wanted to become a scientist, but we didn't know what was available in science.
Anyone who has a kind of an interest in science, I think will love this podcast and find it an interesting resource.
An AI doesn't have to have values that are different from a human.
We have lots of 10-minute episodes and excerpts from the podcast. And we also do a lot of videos. We have tours of people's labs and things like that. So it's really great for people to actually see what goes on in the lab. We're also setting up blogs. It's a good way for people to communicate with us and the researchers we have on the show.
And science is all about collaboration. Nothing great has ever been accomplished in isolation. If Albert Einstein came up with his theory of relativity and there was no one to actually perform the experiments to test that theory, we wouldn't have the theory of relativity. We just have one crazy dude with a crazy idea in isolation. And so we really want to facilitate and create a community that extends beyond specific fields. It's like tendrils that bring everyone together.
And what good is a scientific discovery if you can't communicate the value of that discovery to a greater public?
Well, researching our guests is quite easy.
We have a lot of contacts because we work in a postgraduate research space.
We have interesting people who have interesting fields of research, things that are going to be easy for people to digest. The challenge comes afterwards. It comes with the editing.
Yeah, it's a hard slog when you're editing all of these podcasts and putting them all together, but when you get that product at the end that you can be proud of and listen to, that's really rewarding.
And getting feedback from people who listen is always
Yeah.
encouraging. So do that, guys.